What's going on, guys? You know what it is. You know who it is. Nick Fury back with another video, and today we're going to be talking about loot crates, loot boxes, and the trend that is happening within the gaming industry. Now, this subject came up in the Saltiest Gaming podcast. Me, Jay Fonzarelli, Jago, and Salty, we were all just talking, and then Fonzarelli came up with a video today talking about the loot crates in Star Wars Battlefront 2 and how it's pay to win. And coincidentally, I was reading an article about loot boxes in Shadow of Mordor, and I was going to make a video about the trend that's happening this year. It seems to be happening a lot this year. Started last year with the release of Overwatch. Overwatch came out, May 2016. It was a very popular game. They had loot boxes in Overwatch. You could earn loot boxes by leveling up, but you could also purchase them. But nothing in Overwatch was game-changing. It was just cosmetics, emotes, sprays, voice lines, things like that. It wasn't anything that really helped you in the game, didn't make you better, didn't give you any special abilities, anything like that. And most of the time, loot crates are used in free-to-play games like Smite, Paladins, games like that just are free to play, but they give you the option of purchasing loot crates, or you get loot crates to improve the status of your character. Fair enough for free-to-play games. But starting in 2017, we've slowly started to see this trend creep into AAA titles, starting with For Honor releasing early this year. I think it was February. It was kind of anticipated. It was just new game that was being tried out based on one-on-one combat and quote-unquote an honor system, which never happened in the game, but that's a different story. But in For Honor, you were able to get loot crates by leveling up, or you could purchase silver and get loot crates. And what people on Reddit ended up finding out was that you could level up as much as you could, but it was an unreal amount of grinding, like hours upon hours, or you could just spend the money and get the loot boxes you needed to get all the gear, and it was way quicker that way. And so the community caught on and was not very happy with it. I think they changed it. I haven't touched the game since it came, since the first month it came out, but I've heard that they changed it a little bit, but too little too late, you know what I'm saying? But that's one example of loot boxes in a AAA title. And so in the fall releases of games, we've seen the loot crate system implemented in these games, such as Shadow of War, Assassin's Creed Origins, Forza 7, even Star Wars Battlefront 2. We've seen this trend slowly creep into AAA titles. These games are worth $60. They're not free to play, but they have a free to play sort of model in them, which I think is kind of weird. Why is that model in these games? Now, before I get into that part, I do want to explain the fact that Forza, Shadow of War, and Assassin's Creed is all based on in-game currency, so you don't reuse your real money to buy loot crates and stuff like that, but you do use in-game currency that you earn, that you have to grind, and that's the point I'm going to get to. It seems like these companies, in order to get more hours played and more playability in these games, instead of just handing you what you need to earn, now you have to do it through a loot crate system that you get with in-game currency to sort of extend the playtime of these games. I mean, we know the trend for the last few years. Games haven't been as long. Stories haven't been as long. Hours put in games hasn't been as long. Gamers' attention spans are a lot shorter, so stories are a lot shorter, but they still got to get you to play these games for a certain amount of time. So what do? Add some kind of long grind, loot crates, whatever. That's just my theory on it. It makes a lot of sense to me. If you don't really want to put much effort into a story, how do you get players to play longer to finish a story? They need certain objects to finish story. Let's add it in loot crates that they have to grind to get. Plus, guess what? It's all RNG, so it's all luck of the draw. Grind until you get what you need. That simple. Now, Star Wars Battlefront 2, the loot boxes in this seems a lot different. Now, Battlefront 2 seems a little shady to me. I mean, it's clearly shady. There's free DLC, so how do you get players to spend more money on the game? Loot crates to get abilities that you have to have in order to be good. That is pay to win. So that's not what I'm really talking about. That's a completely different story. That's shady. That's no good for the gaming industry. But what I'm talking about is just the loot crate system in these games. I don't know what it is. I don't like it. It just makes it seem, it's just laziness to me, honestly. pure laziness. Why try to give us the illusion that you're making a full game? And that's what it is. It's just an illusion. Why does a free-to-play model have to be in a AAA title that we've already paid $60 for? And we as a gaming community have already shown these companies that we are willing to accept the grind, willing to accept a model like this. And I really feel like these are these companies dipping their toe into this model, trying to feel us out until they can start to implement paid loot boxes in every game for them to get extra money. I don't think we're that far off from it. That's my biggest fear. That's the trend I fear is coming. That's what we don't need. I'm playing NBA 2K. They've already implemented this into a game. The grind is so bad in NBA 2K, and now they want you to buy more VC. More VC. You earn less VC playing games and playing different stuff and trying to get experience. They want you to buy this stuff. So it's already here. These gaming companies are now trying to push the envelope, and I feel like it's up to us as a gaming community to stand up. Now, I realize Shadow of War is a highly anticipated game, Forza 7 is highly anticipated, Assassin's Creed Origins is highly anticipated, and much of the games that are coming out this year are highly anticipated games. I'm not telling you to not buy these games. They're good games. Go out, play them. But we need to express to these companies that this is not a good trend to have. This is not a good trend to start. We already have given you $60 of our money. Hard-earned money. I work, have a wife, 3 kids. I work 6 days a week almost every week. I do not need to grind the game over and over and over and over again just to get a loot crate, just so I have an object that I need to finish the game. It's not acceptable. I don't like it. Now, you may go ahead and say, well, I'm fine with it. It's kind of cool, whatever you want to say. Leave a comment, we'll talk about it. As you can tell, this trend is really starting to get to me. It's really starting to bother me. I don't want to come off as a whiny person. I'm really not trying to whine, but it's just really annoying. And I feel like these companies are trying to get over on us gamers. So you already know what I'm going to say. Like, subscribe, comment, let's talk about it, all of that. And after you subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get notifications when I release new content in the future. This has been Nick Fury, and I will see you guys later.